参加費1500万円出しトーナメントのバブルで極限の駆け引き。こんにちは、ミレイです。今回は先日行われた1500万円出しトーナメントのバブルの様子を紹介するよ。登場するのは2025年大活躍の三沢さん。 GPI というトーナメントの成績を表す指標でも2025年は日本人の中で堂々の1位、世界でも44位で常にポーカー界の話題の中心になっていたよ。そんな三沢さんが残り5人で4位からインマネ、優勝1億6000万円という激アツのファイナルテーブルに登場。対するはハイローラー常連の鉄橋たち。バブルにおけるトッププロたちの究極の駆け引きが見られるよ。果たして三沢さんは2025年最後を優勝で締めくくることができるのか。この動画が良かったらチャンネル登録してもらえるととっても嬉しいです。それじゃあ早速ファイナルテーブルを見てみよう。ゼロから始めるポーカー教室。
Eight's here for Shulman.
Go to 3-bet.
Activating. Several exploring alternative ways to don the lav mic, by the way, the exoskeleton sort of approach.
It's 8, I mean.
Jack 9 of hearts, couple of overs, suited one gapper. Very defendable here, says June. Very dry board. Obara, second pair. Going to be perhaps the most cautious of players.
30.
Although, you know, we often regard, if you have bookends, it's the people in the midfield that are going to be most shackled, as I like to call it.
Yeah, typically Schulman and Samau going to be the most cautious.
We'll see bet of 30K. Never going to get through. Let's see whether or not Shulman feels as though he can continue to tell a tale.
If he does bet, which I don't suspect he will, but if he does, there is the check. He would clearly have been trying to target a 9. I don't think that he expected any ace-x to fold. And we've got showdown value, you know, with the 8s. If you're up against a 3 somehow, hand like 4-3 suited. Even the 5-4 suited that could have called flop and connected on turn. June, a notch below 30 bigs, 2 7s out of the small. This is the absolute short stack.
Only?
Yeah. This hand doesn't perform very well unless you shove, and should just be a winner, of course. It is a great relief whenever it goes fold rather quickly. Although Xiao's giving him a little business with the posturing.
Russell in the chat has stepped in to advise that he was in a high-speed police chase when he was a teenager, but thankfully he was the passenger and his friend was the driver. I wonder how that friendship did after that incident. Unclear whether or not they got away.
I don't really get it. You know,
Matthew in the chat also chiming in. What do we have? A derelict chat on our hands here today? What's going on? He says he was in a medium speed chase in Monaco and just decided if I keep going for a couple minutes, I'll be in a whole nother country.
I think that eventually they're probably going to get you. You're just going to outrun them and disappear forever? I understand you might have some items in the car where it's you have no choice.
Oh,
right. But
one of those.
Yeah, but you know, if you're just saying, ha, yeah, we'll get away from these guys.
Yeah, I mean, if it's your blinker was out, maybe you just pull over. Meanwhile, Obara not going to pull over. Top pair. Queen kicker here versus the gut shot. Sarvel made it 55 pre, followed through for 75. Now an ace on the turn. And just given the caginess we've observed, it's unclear whether or not A bet on the flop here, followed by a bet on the turn, reads credibly like top pair of aces in spots such as this.
Yeah, it looks like two-barrel opportunity for Savro, and he will pounce. Maximum pressure being applied to this pair of nines for Obara. It is so hard to call here, knowing that you may be having to buckle up, take a ride to the river, and make a decision for your tournament life with just middle pair. Looks like he is down. Oh my.
This is a pretty critical one for June now. Mightily invested. Savro not drawn dead. He needs a 6 in a hurry, or he needs Obara to stop espousing these 9s. Oh, 8s for Savro, but I don't think that's real showdown on his mind. Front door flush gets there.
Same with some of those straights that Savro could have been barreling twice with. I mean, he does have 8-5. The 8 fills in plenty of hand. The question is, does that 8 have enough showdown value against the stubborn 7s that Obara could have called flop and turn with?
Oh, it's a shutdown for Sam. And it's the one thing you didn't want to see if you're sitting at this table is Savro sending chips to Obara. This officially puts Schulman on the short stack with a pretty tight cluster of Simao, Obara, and Nick. Speaking of feet on accelerators, here's Obara showing us something different promptly after being anointed with this playable stack. The ace-5 suited solver bait leaning back on Sam, who's had that high VPIP, and I think he's under suspicion here.
He is going to 4-bet.
Oh, the pile drive. He's reminding June that you're not supposed to be allowed to do such things, my friend.
Hold on, though. I mean, this is far from over.
I understand the 4-bet looks like it should shut things down, but you mentioned it, the solver bait. Does Obara want to just go for it with a 5-bet, saying, I don't believe you, bucket hat? On the stone cold bubble.
Does this guy have it in him?
I want to say yes, but he deploys it with such care. Is now the time?
Oh my
Wow!
God. Oh my God, he's done it.
The zippers have been dropped, Brent. Bar, by the way, he might be looking to dunk on this 55 from Savro, courtesy of Jacob. Nope. Flats. Schulman, unfortunately, sharing the 4. Does have a suited king. 160. The offering. So the additional investment.
I love the gears and the way that this June Obara has been shifting and maneuvering thus far. Coming in as the short stack, very under-repped. We saw the 5-bet jam with ace-5 suited. Here, just calling with 2 jacks from the small.
Up against a couple of gutters with this overpair. See if Sam's got follow-through. Not supposed to be his board. Sure enough, he does tap the forearm to bring us to a turn. Coordinating 8. I like the chop. You know, not a tap, just a single judo straight into the felt. Hold it, and then release.
You mentioned not supposed to be Savro's board. This really is more so this fella, Shulman, coming along for the ride out of the big blind. He too elects to knuckle on over to Savro. Everyone thus far.
Backdoor clubs arrive along with a second 6. 65. Obara can no longer take it. But with 2 folds behind him, he is going to take it. It's only from Belo Horizonte, Brazil.
Lining up over here.
And I only know that because the World Cup was once held in Brazil,
Pick
and I
2
would have
hands?
been tempted to say
Yeah.
Belo Horizonte. But no, the Portuguese is tricky, man. That's a real minefield. And I would not try, not that you were intending to, Brent,
Yeah.
to ever mess with Portuguese pronunciations. Master English.
No.
Once you sort that out,
Right.
then turn your attention.
No, the only thing I'm messing with the Brazilians have to offer are those Brazilian steakhouse. Is that what they call it? Where you go and you just get all the meat you can eat?
Fogo de chão.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
Is that a real
Texas State
thing, by
Brazil,
the way,
whatever.
down in Brazil? They
Yeah,
have these types
yeah.
of joints? That's, yeah.
Barisha. Obara, big little offsuit. Again, we've witnessed this already on one occasion with Queen 3 where Savro binned Schulman's ace tray. But somehow, limping a suited king. And then 3-betting it to 230. So the response, when you see 24 total entrants, when you see the prize pool, perhaps one less befitting of the Super High Roller Bowl in terms of historical numbers, do you feel as though maybe we would have been better served to have pressed pause and come back at a different time with
Yes.
this 10th edition?
It
Genuinely?
was originally scheduled for October,
Because it is
Right.
flop.
and some internal changes were made.
Huh?
Okay.
But everyone, for the most part, would have agreed. Different window, and ultimately the decision was made. You know what? Let's just do it. Let's just run it. We'll have some folks here. We knew Negreanu wanted to play. We knew these guys all on the field wanted to play. So here we are.
No looking back. As things are looking up for King High, turning into 6s up. Outflop Obara's ace. Limp, blind versus blind. June not shooting it up pre. Now facing 30K post. Peel from Obara. 9 of clubs. Doesn't help him. $75K bet call on the turn. This one is now 300,000 strong and a third deuce on the river. Kind of card where if ace-high was good before, it's still good now. We can see it isn't. I could see an overbet here potentially from somehow. 225, not in that class, but certainly not low fat. Obara paying that one off there, Brent. You got to admire his willingness when he puts a read on his opponent to just trust his gut. Obara, by the way, having the Cowboys passed along.
Yeah, this is also known as the cobbler. Are those chopsticks?
Well, I don't think he had his hair up. Yeah. Oh my God.
No way.
You want to
No
talk
way.
about chop. Obara could be felled here with ease if Sovrel chooses the aggressive route. Things have been so cagey here, Brent. You could see somebody pursuing lines that are designed to ensure that Obara can't release. 205 the 3-bet. There are raise folds at this size. Fortunately for Sovrel, this one's never going to get folded, and in fact, it's very much a candidate to look up at that 205 with 525 left to play for as a covering stack and say, let's do this.
It's all going in. Just a massive cooler for June on the bubble. Oh, man.
What's that, sir? Yeah. Yeah, you are. And we suspected, Brent, at the onset of this one, observing the lineup, the stacks, that it was going to require something like this to burst the bubble. Now, Obara's behind, does cover by 90,000, but that ain't a lot to fight with three bigs if he can't put the beat on. Is Sovrel finding the bounce? Sure looks that way. No diamonds to worry about. King on the flop. No more than 10% equity for Jun Obara, with 2 to come. Less than that now. 2 outs, 1 time.
I made it first.
Nothing dirty on the end as things clean up nicely for Sovrel.
これはとんでもないね。このハンドで残りスタックは 3BB に。ここからの巻き返しに期待したいね。
The middle.
Saying a little prayer, I believe, right before being dealt in.
Yeah.
For a miracle.
Who will be the one? Looks like Sovrel, unless Samau wakes up. Drowsy 6-4 off. Will be put to rest.
Tell you, man, I've seen some sick comebacks inside this studio. Believe it or not, with stacks fewer than 3 bigs.
Well, the good news for Obara is, unlike last time out, this time he's taking the best of it, and you got to admire his ability to flash a smile here, despite what rates to be a very disappointing ending. Chunky equity for Sovrel behind. There's the rebate of 165 in store. Looking that way. Jacks and 9s must be warded off. Now add 10s to the evil. Bothersome developments. Can Jun's king high hang on and keep the bubble intact? Yes, it can.
Never a doubt.
Obara did in the Kings versus Aces Stone Money bubble in 100K. 3 days in. 2 days for him, Max Light Reg.
As Nick said, I'm sure he had a piece.
Yeah. Yeah. Good friends from.
Long day.
Yeah.
And shake it off the way that he has.
Well, yeah, you will. I mean, as soon as you've got about 600 or 700 million in the bank account, you'll be all right.
Listen, I don't know that that's what Obara's working with. I would probably need somewhere around that before I could let it You know, I'm an emotional character. And Obara, by the way, is as well, but he just tends to skew more toward the upbeat side of the emotional spectrum. Win, lose, or draw. You got to give him credit for doing so. This time, though, the spin going to be tougher as he takes the worst hand into battle. Queen Jack versus Ace Deuce suited.
You win this, you're back to 13 bigs. Very much
I heard
a
such a
fighting
weird echo
chance.
from you there.
Really?
So weird. It's like you hit like a sound vortex or something.
Yeah. Find out I'm a lizard.
Yeah, maybe. Not human.
Ace high turning into deuces. Doesn't change a thing for Obata. Couple of jacks grayed out. An actual 4-outer as it stands, and that's where it stays. The gallery walls looking for artwork. Can he drop a little Murakami in the hallway? No, he can't.
GG, bro.
Nice pretty.
Good playing with you, June.
Yeah. Hey, safe trip back home, all right? Yeah.
残念ながら三沢さんはここで敗退。惜しくもインマネとはならずだったよ。それでも2025年は最後の最後まで三沢さんの話題で持ちきりの1年だったね。今後もこのチャンネルではいろんなポーカーシーンを紹介していくので、よければチャンネル登録お願いします。